first, we're going to provide, or at least I saw some updates, some statements that were made about what was going on. And it seemed that Tiffany Henyard did sustain injuries from the brawl. When she jumped over the table and ran down like she was Ultimate Warrior, she got sustained injuries apparently. So it was crazy. I'm sure if you're on this channel right now, you have seen this fight probably 10,000 times from multiple angles. Unfortunately, no one had a 360 camera. No one had like one of those cameras from the NFL with the top going over the line or in the field. We've seen the video 10 million times. If you already have your opinion on who started, who did what, you know, at this point, there is still, to my knowledge, and please correct me if I'm wrong, no one has been arrested yet. There is no arrest at this point, which I found to be odd. You would assume someone would be told to, you know, go to the police station and, you know, you get hit with a battery charge or something. The fact that nothing has happened yet, but so let me check. I'm gonna show you guys some statements that were made because of the brawl for it all. So the trustees dropped one. This is Dalton trustees. Basically trying to tell you, hey, this type of events and this what happened did not happen in Thornton Township. So I guess they wanted to clarify, like, because people still are confused between Mayor Henyard of Dalton and Supervisor Henyard of Thornton Township. They wanted you guys to know, hey, don't bother us. This didn't happen over there. Let me read it to you guys. So this is from the desk of Jason House. Dear residents, on the behalf of the Village of Dalton trustees are deeply saddened by and disturbed by the events that took place at Thornton Township board meeting in South Holland last night. To be clear, this was not a Village of Dalton board meeting and none of the Village of Dalton trustees were in attendance. Like, you ain't gonna get us in trouble. Like, we weren't even in the building. Our hearts go out to residents who has continued to witness such turmoil, and we share in your frustration and disappointment. It is truly disheartening to see our community cast in a negative light due to actions that do not reflect the values we stand for. Violence and chaos have no place in Dalton and Thornton Township. As your elected officials, we want to reassure you that we remain fully committed to fostering a safe, respectful, and professional environment for all. Our priority is and always will be working to build a stronger, safer, and more unified community for our residents and businesses. We will continue to uphold the highest standards of leadership and work tirelessly to restore trust, stability, and progress for the Village of Dalton. So that was Jason House. I guess you wouldn't think Jason House would be running over anybody. It's not funny. I think a lot of us laugh at it because it kind of shields the sadness of it all, the embarrassing. I mean, the one thing that bothered me when the fight started to happen, I think I didn't speak for about 4 or 5 minutes. I just sat there and just watched it. And what I was looking at, not just the fight, but the fact that there was a woman holding a baby, like holding a toddler. And then I saw another kid that probably wasn't 13 years old. And I thought, there's no reason at this juncture, hopefully this is the sign right here. Do not bring your kids into this environment, please. No children. To be honest, I wouldn't, even me, I would not go there. I would watch a stream. I wouldn't have my mom there, I wouldn't have my dad there. I would say, hey, just go watch a stream. Or wait till the news pop up about it. I mean, at this point, everyone is streaming it now. We just saw some content creators that I didn't know until yesterday. There's no reason for me to be there. I would show up to vote. When it's time to vote, I will go and vote. At this point, Henyard is not in the ballot for the township, so most likely she's not going to become supervisor again. And for Dalton, you already know when it's time to vote, go vote. What's the reason of going there now? I wouldn't. I make content and I wouldn't go. I would probably get someone else to stream for me. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't purposely put myself in positions in areas where violence is happening. I don't go to certain neighborhoods. I don't go to certain clubs. I don't go to certain bars. It's like, I don't want to deal with it. You know, I'm a big nerd. I want to chill. I want to go somewhere where it's more chill environment. I'm not purposely going to put myself in those positions. So I wouldn't, but you know, everyone has their own reasons of what they want to do. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out. So the news, and this is coming from Tiffany's lawyer, that Tiffany did sustain some injuries. So let's see what was said here. This is from UGN. Henyard's attorney released the following statement regarding Tuesday's meeting. Supervisor Tiffany Henyard was verbally assaulted and her personal safety threatened at the Thornton Township meeting on January 28th, 2025 by Jedediah Brown, a known aggressor whom the supervisor had tried to secure an emergency restraining order but was denied by the court. After a slew of insults and inciting words, including calling the supervisor a B-word, Jedediah Brown and his accomplice, Lavelle X. J. Raymond, an equally known aggressor and registered sex offender, attacked supervisor's significant other, Mr. Kamal Woods, knocking him to the floor, kicking and punching him. The supervisor sustained minor injuries when she instinctively rushed to the melee in an attempt to break it up. Mr. Woods also suffered minor injuries, but both are okay. All legal options would be pursued. So, the lawyers are happy. So this is another lawsuit going to be, I don't know, bouncing between everybody at this point. I am still surprised no one's been arrested. What do you guys think? So anyone should have been arrested? Henyard jumping over, running in there like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Clearly, Lavelle, it seemed like he was the one that first swung. Even Quigley, stomping on people, jumping up to the table to take a TV. I don't understand how no one has been arrested. I don't know. I wonder if the body cam footage for South Holland is available. I may send a FOIA request for the footage. I want to know how much information they received and thought, all right, I guess, hey, this happens. No biggie. I think this should be something should be happening. I don't know. But Jedediah and Kamal Woods have been cursing each other out for a minute. They have interacted in the past. Even I think a couple weeks ago, I think when Jedediah went to Henyard's parents' home, they both yelled at each other. No one fought. So what happened in this situation where they fought? Well, obviously they got closer, and I believe if it was just those two, this is my opinion, if it was just those two, it would probably have been broken up. I don't think any punches would have been thrown because we've seen this. Jedediah says what he says. Someone may come up to his face, but then eventually there's enough time for people to come in and break it up. That didn't happen because it was more than just those two. That's my opinion, because I've seen countless meetings at this point. Dozens of meetings, and this wasn't even the worst. We've heard people say crazier things. We've seen. I think the craziest meeting was that Thornton Township meeting where the residents were voting for certain things. I think Wiedemann was elected to run that meeting, and it was Michael Dotson. The first time we heard about Michael Dotson and his accusations, he was yelling, screaming at Gonzalez, and no one fought in that. So it's interesting that it went that way, but I think because there's so much anger now, Henyard is definitely losing control. I think she has lost control. She has lost complete control. To run out and get into brawls now, that's when you have lost all control. But now the lawyer is saying that she sustained some injuries. So I don't know the extent of that. How truthful is that? Who knows? But at this point, all you have to do is keep your hands to yourself. We've seen emotional arguments and fighting and cursing each other out often in these meetings, and no one throws a punch. I've seen it. I've seen it from some of the Henyard supporters. I've seen it from some of the the residents who were there. They'll say what they have to say. Like Trina Downs, she goes in, and no one is punching each other. There's no WWE action happening. What was the new element that came in that got everything out of control? Quigley for stomping on people, I don't see how he's not got any kind of arrest. I don't get it. I'm not the cops. And also, this didn't even happen 24 hours ago. So we'll see. Obviously, I'll update you guys if something does happen. It's because of what happened in the meeting before the fight happened. The tension built up to a point where you're having people who have been in a serious beef for about 8-9 months at this point. Henyard really, really loves that guy, I guess, to a point where she's willing to crash out for him. And the fact that the trustees put those approvals to the forensic audit in the at-risk youth program, the program that Kamal is getting paid $100,000 plus for. So next on the agenda, is there a motion? So at 7, 8, 7 and 8, we already passed these two. We did. That's the ones we voted on. We did. Okay. So again, let me refresh your memory. This is why I always say, let me educate. So, in doing so, why I'm about to educate everybody? Because everybody want to always act like they know and they don't read. So let me read it for you. Okay, on September 24th, 2024, right? We, myself, Trustee Carmen, and Trustee Chris, voted to investigate every single department in Thornton Township. So, to place this on the agenda again, to act like we basically are targeting certain departments, when we said all of the departments will be investigated. There's no need to reapprove something that's already approved. And that's my point of, we already approved this. So, approving it again
To do what? It's already approved. This is the date, this is the minutes. Y'all can FOIA it, look it up, take a picture. So that's where it's at. So that's why I was saying those two items are already voted for. Okay, so moving on. Her question was, can they vote on something that's on the agenda? He said they can.
Yes, these two items are very specific matters that can be voted on. They are properly on the agenda, and they can certainly be voted on with a motion and a second, followed by discussion and a roll call vote.
Motion to approve item 7.
All right, so as I was stating, that's already approved, regardless of voting on it or not, it's already approved. So he said, just so you understand what the lawyer did, he just said you vote on anything that's on the agenda, but it's already approved. So doing it again makes no sense, but go right ahead. I just like to point out how people target certain departments or certain people is all that is, because it's all together as a whole that we're going to investigate every single department at Thornton Township. So
Hold on. So she don't agree with the lawyer clearly. So the argument is about the forensic audit, right? So she's insisting that Henyard is insisting that the forensic audit has already been approved in September last year. So no further approval is necessary. And the other trustees are arguing that the audit needed additional approvals for funding and implementation. And then Henyard is complaining about, well, you're only selectively pushing for investigation for certain departments instead of allowing the audit in all departments. It bothered her when discussing this. When they went to executive session, they came back. Stephanie Weeman announced that she wants them to be on leave, again, with pay.
I would like to make a motion to put Kamal Woods and William Moore on administrative leave.
Thank y'all for the lawsuit. But anyway, it is a motion. Sorry guys.
It bothered her to the point where maybe that's the reason why she jumped over and lost her mind, right? Even though they're getting paid anyway, but I think she is afraid of what the forensic audit is going to uncover. That Kamal Woods, was he doing really anything with this youth director program? That's the reason why I think she went out her way to possibly get a criminal charge. It was that time that was spent in that meeting where, again, yesterday I couldn't really hear, but the back and forth, her arguing over those points of, what was the points? Let me look it up real fast. And arguing about, I approved it before, I don't want to approve it again. The forensic audit was already voted in September last year. Why am I doing it again? And the trustees wanted to make sure that each of those lines were approved and implemented. She was saying, like, this is political retaliation, this is targeting, and this bothered her to the end where I guess she jumped over the table like Ultimate Warrior and started going crazy on people. It's the accumulation of losses, L's, all this is bringing up to where it is. So going back to what Henyard's lawyer said about a sex offender. So I forgot about Lavelle's, but I did talk about him a long time ago. Let me check. There's a news story 3 years ago. He used to be cool with Henyard. But this is a really old video. It's from 3 years ago. In case you guys didn't see this, I would like to show it to you guys now so you know who I'm talking about.
President of Dalton, what do you think about that hire?
They need to do a better job of background checking. That's awful.
Residents of South Suburban Dalton reacting to a Fox 32 investigation that found a new village employee with a dangerous criminal past.
He is a registered child sex offender, and he's now been hired by the village to go into people's homes and businesses.
Now, furious village trustees are taking steps to curb the mayor's power. Fox 32's Daniel broke the story, and he has the latest from Dalton.
What is the situation involving your background?
My background, a childhood background, over 30 years ago.
46-year-old Lavelle Redmond wasn't happy to see us when we encountered him today behind Dalton Village Hall. But listen again to the person on the phone telling him to stop talking.
30 years ago.
We don't know who that is, but we do know who got Redmond his village job. Redmond is close to new Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and worked on her campaign. Records obtained by Fox 32 show that on September 20th, Redmond was hired as a code enforcement officer for the village of Dalton, a job that gives him access inside homes and businesses. Which is why Dalton residents were shocked when we showed them what we found online.
Oh my God. Don't they supposed to do background checks before they allow these people in these kind of positions?
One would think, right?
Yes.
That's because Redmond is listed as a child sex offender on the Illinois State Police Registry. He served 24 years of a 50-year sentence for taking part in the brutal gang rape and beating of 2 young girls in the Roseland neighborhood in 1991. News reports at the time say Redmond was one of 4 young men who kidnapped the girls and took them to an abandoned garage where they were sexually assaulted and beaten with boards and guns.
I would be terrified to know now if he had come to my house to do code inspection. I would be terrified.
That's crazy. I don't know. He won't get in my house, though.
Dalton trustees say Redmond was hired directly by Mayor Henyard and her village administrator, former Cook County Circuit Court Clerk Dorothy Brown.
Did the trustees have any input in this hire?
No, the trustees have not had any input on any hire since the swearing in of this administration.
We tried talking to Mayor Henyard, but a police officer in front of her home told us we couldn't knock on the door. Later, the mayor issued a statement. I and the village of Dalton take the safety of our residents very serious, and we would never put our residents in jeopardy. In regard to the matter of the employee who's the subject of recent news stories, know that the incident referred to occurred nearly 30 years ago, and they paid their debt to society. We believe that a person can be rehabilitated, and we believe in second chances.
You know, I'm for second chances, but the fact that he's on the registry and the fact that he's going inside of homes, that's what caused an alarm and caused concern for me in regards to my safety and the rest of the residents.
In Dalton, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
That was definitely Tiffany Henyard on the phone telling him to stop talking. 100%. 100%. So now you have an idea of the characters that we're talking about. What's going to happen? Who's getting arrested? What's going to be done? We'll see what happens with all of that. Henyard definitely was in the fight. This is what's going on in this crazy, crazy saga of Tiffany A. Henyard, supervisor of the township and obviously the mayor of Dalton. I'm sure there's going to be either files being charged or more lawsuits. I wonder if there is a secret like Facebook group or Reddit or whatever, or just text thread of all these lawyers just like laughing and showing how much money they've been getting and showing what they brought with it. The cars, the vacations. If you're a lawyer down there, you're making a whole lot of money. Even the guy who's not functioning sometimes and he's just sitting there, he's making a good amount of money because of how chaotic everything is. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hopefully we'll get some more information. But as I said, apparently Tiffany Henyard sustained injuries for probably slamming herself into that desk or maybe got hit. I don't know.